What is up, everybody? Welcome to Outside the Cage. We had an off week in the UFC, but that doesn't stop us. We still had some former UFC legends in the ring. We had Jorge Masvidal versus Nate Diaz in LA, Anaheim, Honda Center. Crazy is kind of one of the biggest. I mean, it turned out, there was a lot of people talking about it.
Yeah. Great decision to move it off of the Islam Dustin date and move it onto a day when there was not a UFC card. Great decision to do that.
That was huge. Yeah. That was huge. Definitely. What did you think of the fight, and were you surprised?
I mean, honestly, they were in better shape than I thought they would be. I expected the first couple rounds to be good, but then I expected them to kind of slow down. Maybe Jorge more than Nate, because Nate's cardio is always pretty good. But I didn't expect them to look as good as they did. I was thoroughly entertained. Anytime Nate Diaz fights, it's just electric. And I think Suga being on the commentary made it a win for me no matter what. That was so elite hearing Suga on the mic. And the fights before the rest of the card was not bad. It was better than a normal boxing card, I feel like. We got to see one of Floyd's guys that was 18 years old that looked really good. And then we saw Anthony Pettis versus one of Nate's guys. I'm blanking on his name right now. Is it no? Fuck, that's bad. But Nate's guy actually beat Anthony Pettis in a unanimous decision, I believe. And then Nate beat Masvidal. I don't know if I scored it that way though. I personally probably thought Masvidal won. Nate was kind of walking him down more, but I felt like Masvidal was definitely landing the cleaner shots throughout the fight. Who did you have as the winner there?
Yeah, obviously we talked about before it. I had Masvidal method by decision. So obviously biasly I was going for Jorge. I kind of watched it back today and I still kind of had the same thing. Again, when it's that close and you have money on it, you're kind of naturally going to lean toward the bias. So I'm kind of the wrong person to ask. But as much as I take the bias out as possible, I think that Masvidal won it.
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't really that many times where Nate really clocked Masvidal. He was throwing a lot that was kind of half landing, but it seemed like Masvidal was kind of blocking most of the shots. And then when Masvidal landed, it was pretty clean, but Nate's chin is just so good. He doesn't really show any reaction or move back at all when he gets hit. It kind of just doesn't really look like he gets hit, I feel like. As weird as that sounds. I would not have been mad with a draw there, to be honest. It was really close.
Yeah.
Nate's call out after was pretty funny. He said,
so it's 1-1 now.
Yeah. I feel like a trilogy would be good, and I would guess they would do it in boxing, but people would be happy with MMA or boxing, definitely. Did you hear Nate call out Jake Paul after? Or Leon?
Oh.
He said, I want to whoop Jake Paul's ass. I want to go win the UFC belt because I'm the best fighter in the world. Or something like that.
Hey, he had Leon wobble.
Oh. That shit's so crazy.
A lot of people forget he had Leon wobbled in the 5th.
I can't believe he survived to the 5th. Leon was putting it on Nate in that fight.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was a really good card, honestly, for what it was. I didn't have the highest expectations going in, but it definitely surpassed mine.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like you said, you know me, I'm not really a fan of the boxing. You're not really a boxer, but like I said, I was impressed and I liked it, and a lot of people were talking about it. So yeah, exceeded my expectations for sure.
And what was funny is that Shakur Stevenson was boxing on Top Rank at the same time Nate Diaz and Masvidal were, and nobody was talking about the Shakur fight. And he's probably a top 20 pound for pound boxer in the world. He had a lot of hype before this fight, but he's just such a boring fighter that people were pissed. And the only clips I saw weren't even
Nate's box office, bro.
He really is. He moves the needle. When Dana said Nate wasn't a needle mover, that might be one of his worst aging quotes ever.
Yeah. I've seen some people on like Snapchat or Instagram saying like, I'm ready for the fight night, and I was like, there's not UFC tonight. And then I was like, bro, they're really like, it's like they're like people are getting together to watch like fight. That was cool.
Hell yeah, dude. Nate Diaz, bro. He does that. And he is just
Who do you
hilarious. I
like
would
next
love
for
that.
him?
It's tough, man. I mean, if he wants to go back to the UFC, I think him and Dustin is a fight that almost happened throughout the years and would be pretty sick to see. I do kind of think Dustin's on a higher level than Nate right now, where they both are. He's kind of been in the fire fighting those top guys, whereas Nate's kind of just been doing his thing. But I mean, if they want to
Yeah.
make some money, I think that's pay-per-view headliner non-title fight worthy. If you
Nate
stack the
has to go
card.
back to the UFC, bro. Nick went back. Nate has to go back. Nick went back multiple
Yeah.
times.
That's true. That's insane that Nick's fighting in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of people saying he might pull out because he doesn't know that you can't smoke weed over there, but he has to know that.
He for sure doesn't know yet.
You don't think? I feel like they would have to have like his agent should tell him that before he signs that contract.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But I don't know who I really. Yeah, I mean, if Nate does go back to the UFC, I would love to see Dustin, honestly, or Connor.
Just in general, not even like the UFC, just in general. Like, who do you want to see him fight, box? Like, what do you think? Like a person out there.
It's hard to think of another boxer besides Jake Paul. I don't really want to see that again because I kind of think it would go somewhat similar to their first fight. Maybe a Mike Perry.
Ooh.
Depending on how Mike Perry's fight with Jake Paul goes.
I like that. I could see
kind
Mike
of in
Perry.
that similar circle.
Yeah. I like that. I like that one.
What about for Masvidal? First boxing appearance.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it was close, but I think if he would have won that one convincingly, he for sure could have had a Jake Paul look.
Yeah, and they have history too. I remember they were beefing for a while back before Jake was really on anyone's radar in the boxing world.
Yeah. I don't know who I like for him. It's tough. It's you never really know because like this whole celebrity boxing thing, it just kind of comes out of nowhere. So it's like you see names like, oh, I didn't even think about him.
And it's hard for these guys because they're kind of in a class of their own. It's not like they're in that like world class boxing level, but they're definitely a lot better than the influencer boxers that you see on those like KSI cards or whatever.
What about Masvidal, Luke Rockhold?
Dude, that's crazy. Luke Rockhold was kind of coming into my mind too. He definitely did not mess with bare knuckle boxing. I want to say, dude, I feel like he was beating Mike Perry in that fight, but he just kind of stopped. He's like, screw this. He's like,
I'm done. I'm done.
I think one of his teeth just flew out, and he's like, no, I'm too good looking to be doing this. I would love to see Masvidal and Luke Rockhold. That would be elite. What about any current UFC guys that are kind of nearing the end of their career that you could see making the jump into the boxing world? Probably in that lightweight to welterweight, maybe a small middleweight.
I'd have to look at the rankings to give you a clear name. I don't know because I don't really want to see anybody do it. So for me, it's kind of like hard to like really like give a clear. Like, let me see. I'll look at the rankings right here and give you somebody that I would.
What comes to mind for me is like a guy that's kind of on the tail end of his UFC career, maybe in a Tony Ferguson tier where you almost don't want to see him fighting the UFC level guys anymore.
Yeah.
But you'd still want to see him fight in those boxing matches.
I don't want to see Tony Ferguson fight anywhere, anytime.
No, definitely not. I was just saying someone kind of in that stage of their career, maybe not quite at Tony's level, but
who's more likely to fight in the UFC next, Masvidal or Diaz?
Diaz, I would say for sure. I don't really think Masvidal has any realistic chances of going back to the UFC, but for Diaz, that dude's going to move the needle no matter what. So I feel like that window is always somewhat open.
Yeah. It's tough because the Conor fight's always there. But you have to assume if Conor goes out and beats Chandler, Like, these type they're giving him a title shot.
Yeah, like we always say, no one's going to say no. If Conor has somewhat of an argument for a title shot, everyone wants it. Everyone involved.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know if he'll get a shot at Leon or a shot at Islam, but the Nate fight's hard because it kind of have to be like now or if he loses the Chandler fight.
Yeah, or if the Chandler fight just never ends up happening, that's not completely off the table. Oh, that's not completely off the table either yet.
Yeah, but if it doesn't happen, it's because of Conor. So, like, it wouldn't be because of Chandler.
Yeah, I guess like maybe Conor just passes over Chandler is more what I was thinking because Conor versus Diaz makes a lot more, maybe not a lot more money than Conor versus Chandler, but it's definitely doing bigger numbers.
And it makes more sense for Conor. If you're a Conor, who'd you rather fight?
I don't know. I think it's a good look. I think both of them are kind of a good look for Conor. Probably Nate, just because the money.
You still think he beats Chandler?
I think he's too slicey. I think if he has a camp, I think he's too slicey for him, bro. Chandler, Chandler's in better shape, but I think Chandler's just so reckless. Yeah, he's gonna get caught by something because that's Conor's bag right there.
Yeah, I know Chandler's been in big fights. He's been in like title fights, but it's just different with that type of environment. It's gonna feel different. I don't think he's gonna know how to handle himself.
That's honestly true because this is maybe like UFC 300 is comparable to a Conor fight where you just know that many eyes are going to be on you, or like this fear card, something like that.
I don't think nothing compares, dude. Just like the aura and the atmosphere and the energy. I don't think there's big fights every weekend, but like nothing compares to the Conor. It's different.
I guess you're going to be getting chirped all fight week by so many people just walking down the street.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. Should we hop onto this UFC fight announcement? It's nothing crazy, so I don't think we're getting like some title fight announcement or some marquee one. It's not the Sugar Marab or the Max Ely announcement, so don't get your hopes up. But it's a solid lightweight bout. We've got Money Moicano taking on Benoit Saint Denis on the UFC Paris fight night, September 29th. That's a meaningful one in that division.
It is. It gets both of them back in the title picture. If Saint Denis wins, he's back in that title picture. And if Moicano wins, I think he gets a shot.
Yeah, is Turner and Saint Denis enough to get you that shot though with all of the that top five?
You gotta think, like we say all the time. On the mic matters. He's really good on the mic.
That's true. Moicano is elite on the mic.
He goes into this dude's home turf and wins convincingly. I'm not arguing.
Dustin got the shot off of him. That is true, yeah. But Dustin's Dustin. But Moicano, Money Moicano, they don't call him that for nothing. That'll be exciting. Do you have a prediction for this fight, just initially?
I like Saint Denis. I don't think obviously the Dustin fight, it kind of changed my opinion slightly on him, but Dustin's a legend, man. Dustin's a world class. So I still think Saint Denis is really good. I still think he's a guy. So as much as I want to say the Dustin fight, changed my opinion on him, yes, there's levels to this, and we obviously thought Saint Denis is on that level, but I still think he's high class to beat a guy like Moicano.
Yeah. And this one's interesting to me because I feel like Saint Denis they're both good grapplers, but Saint Denis is a stronger grappler and Moicano is a much more technical grappler. So I'm kind of excited to see whether Saint Denis can just maul Moicano and stay on top of him, or if Moicano is going to be able to get him in some slick submission, because I do think there's a good chance of that. Because, Saint Denis, he was just trying to kind of dick sniff Dustin for a while during that fight.
Yeah.
He's doing that with Moicano. Moicano might be able to set up some sort of submission.
Yeah, and it's definitely interesting to see how he comes back from that fight. It's, obviously getting beat like that, it can kind of ruin your career, or it can be a learning lesson and turning point. So interesting to see.
Yeah, and he did say he had that staph infection. There were pictures of it to back it up. So
Yeah.
Could be a chance. Also for UFC 306, we got a few fight announcements. Nothing major, probably not even any main card ones. I don't know where my phone went. I was gonna pull up the rest of them. Oh, here it is. But your girl Yasmin Haregi, she's gonna be taking on Caitlin Souza. So
Fucking Yasmin.
yeah, big opportunity for her. They like to put Yasmin on the big card. She was on International Fight Week last year. Got to be on the Sphere card. We've got Irene Aldana versus Norma Dumont.
Ooh, good one.
Here's one I'm really excited for. Michelle Pereira versus Anthony Fluffy Hernandez.
Oh,
I should have. That's up there with Moicano and Saint Denis for me, man. I'm a big Anthony Hernandez guy, and this is going to be a great opportunity for us to see if Michelle Pereira can do what he does against a legit guy in this middleweight division, because he's looked like a world beater so far, but we haven't seen
yeah.
him against a legit opponent or a legit top opponent. And then Edgar Chairez versus Kevin Borjas. Chairez is pretty good. Power in the hands. And then Renato Rodriguez versus Odie Osborne. Those are the only ones we got so far. I don't know if it's going to be Suga. I feel like they would have told him by now. But they haven't
It's
said
kind of
anything,
getting like 300 vibes. They're just waiting and waiting and waiting, and then you're gonna get too late, and it's like, we'll just throw something together.
Yeah, and they're sure good at that.
Yeah.
Dude, I was thinking about this, bro. So have you seen videos of Inside the Sphere? Just like for a concert or whatever? Bro, I feel like that might be pretty nuts if you're fighting. Like, it might be kind of hard to concentrate on your fight.
It's weird. That's why, like, when I say, like, I think I've seen it, I guess I've seen it. Like, you just, like, see what's in there. Like, you don't, it's like you're in the world of whatever it's showing. So it's hard to tell, like, what it's going to look like.
Yeah, dude. Dana White said, like, the NHL draft looks like chicken shit compared to what the UFC is gonna look like. And then he said that they're hiring a director and a camera crew to, like, shoot the event like a movie in a way to make us feel like we're in the crowd. So it's gonna be nuts, dude.
Yeah.
I might buy this one just to just to show my support to Dana. Yeah. But I don't know, because you're just giving ESPN the money. I don't really know how that all works. I heard ESPN just gets the pay-per-view money and then gives the UFC a flat rate. So I don't know. But that's for your card. It's going to be something. I heard MMA Guru saying he thinks fighters might have like epileptic seizures in there when they're fighting, because of like if you're getting hit in the face, that's already like flashing lights, and then the flashing lights of the sphere too.
Yeah.
So it's not completely out of left field. I was kind of thinking something along those lines too. Maybe not a seizure, but just kind of it messing with your head. Or like if you get rocked once and then you just see a bunch of lights and you're like, oh, and then you can't get back into it as quickly as you usually would.
Yeah, definitely be a weird feel in there. I'll tell you what. Don't attack me here. I'm really excited for the main event this weekend.
No, dude, it's an interesting one. Let's get into this.
I'm all in on it, bro. I'm all in on it. Yeah? I love this fight. I love it.
Okay.
Hey, do I love it as a main event? No, but you already sold me on a live fight night. You know how I love those. And then I like this fight a lot.
All right. Who do you got in the main event?
Tracy Cortez.
Dude, that's crazy. She's undefeated in the UFC. Nobody talks about that.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about Tracy
versus Rose Namajunas. Cortez underdog plus 190, Rose minus 235 favorite. I like the odds there. I love Tracy Cortez, but I genuinely think she gets this done. No bias.
You're not worried about the short notice for her?
Nah. We're good.
I believe
home crowd for Rose kind of scares me a little bit, but other than that, nah.
One other thing we've got to throw into our betting is altitude.
Oh.
Yeah, because Rose, I'm not sure if Rose still trains in Colorado, but she did for years at least with Trevor Whitman. So I'm guessing she's still in Colorado. So that's another one that kind of scares me. I think the last card that was in major altitude was, I think it was Mexico City. And Brandon Royval trained in Colorado, and Moreno didn't train in altitude. And that showed greatly in that fight. So That is something that's going to be kind of scary. Where does Tracy train at? Fight Ready. Oh, so she's in Arizona.
Yeah.
They got some mountains they could go climb up in.
Yeah, that scares me actually. Good call there.
My
Who do you
bad. I
like?
didn't mean to throw you off, but we definitely want you going in with everything equipped. Dude, one thing that I do like about Tracy here though is that she just has that winning mindset right now, just kind of that mental invincibility. She hasn't lost in the UFC yet. She lost her first UFC or her first MMA fight ever, and that was it. 11 fight win streak. Meanwhile, you look on the other side, Rose just kind of, yes, she did win her last fight, but it wasn't a crazy impressive win. Lost her
Yeah.
last two before that. Kind of fell off the cliff a little bit. Hasn't been training with Trevor Whitman full time anymore, which is a big mistake, like we always say. So I
Yeah,
definitely,
knowing how to win for Tracy is just so huge for the mental and just like grinding out wins. Like that means a lot no matter who you're fighting is. A win's a win. Learning how to win is key.
yeah, that's facts. Patrick Mahomes. But yeah, I don't know. I was thinking Rose by decision, honestly, here. I kind of think
Yeah.
Rose is a better striker, and she's a good enough defensive wrestler to be able to keep it on the feet. And hopefully, she learned from her Carla Esparza fight, where she defended the takedowns, but then just did nothing with it. So
Yeah, that
here's
was
some
Pat Barry's
odds.
fault.
We got Rose by decision for plus 110, Tracy by decision for plus 240, and for the fight to go the distance is minus 240. So if you somehow think Rose and Tracy is going to end inside the distance, I would definitely bet on that. But I'm not in that camp.
Yeah, definitely. Another fight that I like on this card is Dober and Gene Silva, like we talked about. What do you like here? I was looking at it today, kind of just trying to get a pick. I don't know. I mean, it's a pick on. That's what we have it as too. But like, do you have a lean?
Yeah, probably Dober, just because Gene Silva's taken this fight on short notice, and it's in the altitude. Dober trains out of Colorado, I believe, so he's used to the altitude. Silva just fought at featherweight. Was it 2 weekends ago at UFC 303? He did look amazing in that fight, but he still had to cut down to featherweight. And now he's fighting again at lightweight, so the cut's not going to be as bad. He is 27 years old, though, compared to Drew Dober's 35. And I think this fight's just going to be a train collision or whatever that, I don't know, just a big time collision in this fight. Two guys trying to knock each other's heads off. And I don't know. Yeah, I'm probably leaning Dober here, but I'm going to bet for the fight to end in the first round.
Oh, okay.
Just for fun. Just for fun. I don't know what the odds are yet. Let me find that out. But
Might could probably just get it under 1.5. Buy yourself a little more insurance.
Facts. Why not? But I think that fight has fight of the year potential to be in the conversation for fight of the year.
Can you have a fight of the year and in the first round?
That's what I was kind of thinking. It might have to be more round of the year.
Yeah.
Dude, our guy Charles Johnson stepping in to take on Josh Vaughn on short notice. Big time fight for Johnson here. Could really cement himself as a contender in that flyweight division. You know what's crazy? This is his 9th fight in a 2-year span.
Yeah, the guy likes to fight.
Yeah, man. Hats off to Charles Johnson, especially at 125, because he's not even a small flyweight. I want to say he's like 5'8" or 5'9", and he's cutting down to 125 that many times. So that's a guy that just stays ready, stays in the gym, a true professional. And I'm sure he's made some good money.
Yeah.
He might kind of be carving out a Jim Miller style career on the pay side of things. Jim Miller just sneaky made a couple mil in his fight purse.
Hey man, if you stay healthy and you get out of fights with no damage and you're ready to fight, you can make a lot of money in this promotion.
And I have to bet Charles Johnson plus 210. It's definitely going to be a tough task for him because Vaughn is legit, but he's 22 years old and Charles Johnson is also legit. So we're going to get to kind of see a big test for Vaughn here.
Yeah.
Ponzinibbio Or is that not? Oh, yeah, that's on here. Ponzinibbio versus Muslim Salikov. They both got knocked out in their last fight. Ponzinibbio got knocked out by Holland. Salikov got knocked out by Randy Brown. So I think I'm going
Yeah.
to bet under 2.5 here.
Yeah, if that's there, I'll take that. I'm kind of liking Ponzinibbio by knockout too, though, but I might just take that or 2.5 with you just in case.
So you could go Ponzinibbio by knockout for plus 165.
Okay,
Or
what's
you
under
could go under 2.5 for minus 115.
That's the play.
Under 2.5 or
Yeah, that's the play.
all right, let's do that. And then maybe we do like a round parlay. Put that on the social media. Let me see what Dober and Dober and Silva is even money for under 1.5 rounds. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, that's the
Vegas
play.
knows it's a barred bunter too.
Yeah, that's
and
the
then
play.
we go over 4.5 for Rose Tracy.
Let's do it.
Let's lock that in. Maybe over 1.5 for Charles and Vaughn also, because I feel like that one will probably go into the second or third round.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, little history note for Denver and the UFC there. The first UFC event ever, UFC 1, took place in Denver, Colorado.
Shouts to UFC 1, baby.
Yeah, back in I guess it would have been 1994 because we're on 30 years right now. So yeah, 1994, Denver, Colorado. That's when UFC 1 took place.
We wanted to talk about just a little look ahead. UFC 304, Edwards and Muhammad 2. Before we got on air, I kind of told you my bet. So I put in a bet this morning at minus 200, 300 to 150 on Leon Edwards. I just obviously we saw that first round the first time, and then just obviously the different level that Leon's at now. So I'm all over Leon. Do you have any opinion on anything's changed since then?
Nah, I'm all over Leon as well. The only kind of analysis I'll provide in Bilal's favor is that he's always been a slow starter.
Yeah.
So he was getting his ass whooped in that Leon fight, but considering who it was, it's not like it's Michael Chandler losing a first round. It was Bilal Muhammad losing a first round. He might have gotten 10-8'd in it, but if there's someone that could come back from that and kind of grind his way out, would be Bilal. But I think Leon, those two Usman fights and the Colby fight just has Leon almost wrestler proof at this point.
Bro, Leon's so much better than that first 5 minutes versus Bilal.
Yeah, so that's the only, other side analysis I would provide. But with that being said, if I had the money, I would also do that bet. I'm confident in Leon as well. What about Aspinall at minus 260 against Blades? Is that worth it, or
it's getting into Blades territory for me? I don't know, dude. Aspinall's good.
Aspinall's so good, bro. He's bouncy, slicey, powerful, everything.
I might have to see the odds for Aspinall by knockout, but it's kind of getting Blades category for me. If it gets into plus 300, you gotta take Blades. I was thinking today on the way home when I was driving here, Bobby Green or Patty?
Bro, I've got a hammer Bobby.
Really? Is it a hammer?
I mean, if Bobby Green and Jared Gordon fought, you'd be hammering Bobby, right?
Yeah,
Jared beat Patty. I don't trust that. Yeah. I mean, dude, Patty didn't even look that great against Tony Ferguson. Bobby Green looked better against Tony than Patty did, I would say.
And bro, we got the odds right here and us. You're a guy on the edits.
Thank you. Got kind of lucky with this one, honestly.
Makayev and Kape. That's a fucking fight.
Yeah, hopefully it actually happens. Kape drops out of every single fight he ever signs the dotted line for, but I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna bet Kape just like to have fun there, because Mokaev, if he wins, it's gonna be in a boring way. But yeah, I don't know. That's a good one, bro. That's a good one. And then Arnold Allen versus Giga. We met Giga, waiting for the taxi at International Fight Week last year. Arnold Allen, big favorite there.
He is. I was high on Giga, bro. He fell off.
COVID quarantine Giga was different.
Yeah.
That's when he was a guy. Dude, that Calvin Kattar fight, I think that kind of knocked Giga off his high horse a little bit.
Yeah.
He's still trying
That's a really good card. Excited for that one.
Yeah. Really good. I was going to come on here and say that the Abu Dhabi card might be better, the one that's a week after. But then
Not
I
looking at
started
it.
looking at it and it's not.
Yeah.
But that Abu Dhabi card for a fight night, that thing is different.
Because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bangers on the card.
Yeah. Let me get
Nathaniel Wood's always a good fight.
Meatball Molly, she could always get a knockout.
Yeah.
Even, dude, a lot of those British guys that they throw on these pay-per-view cards are pretty entertaining fighters, like Christian Leroy Duncan. I believe he was on the Leon Usman 3 card as well. I remember Sam Patterson. I think he got knocked out pretty brutally last year. Modestus opening up the card.
I can't wait to dive into this card and have some bets for it. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, facts. Gonna have to get all the edits for that. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, for Sandhagen Nurmagomedov, free fight night on ABC. So headliner Corey Sandhagen, Umar. Co-main event Vicente Luque, Nick Diaz. Third fight Cheeto versus Figgy. Fourth fight Ferguson versus Chiesa. Fifth fight Mackenzie Dern versus Lupe Godinez. So
it's close, but you just obviously Leon Bilal's title fight, Blades Aspinall title fight, and then after those top two, you can kind of convince me.
Yeah, it is close. I think the fifth fight's a pretty big difference maker, though. Arnold Allen versus Giga is a lot better than Mackenzie Dern versus Lupe.
Yeah.
But Mackenzie Dern on her own, man, they could just have her stand. They could have her be a ring girl, and I'd be happy with that.
Yeah. Yeah, good, great card. I can't wait for this one.
I'm excited, dude. It's funny how June and July was supposed to be like this huge thing, but then we kind of had some fallouts. It was still great, but it was decent. But we kind of have more to look ahead to now because Sandhagen got moved back. Then we got Dricus and Izzy in the fall, and then we've got the Sphere. Then we've got Abu Dhabi. It's crazy. We're already more than halfway through the year.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, life happens fast, for real.
Fast. Days go slow, but the years go fast. You got anything else before we get out of here?
I don't, man. Excited.
Me too.
Glad to get out. Glad to get out 30 minutes on a slow week.
Yup, always, man. Always great talking to you. And what about Olympic basketball, bro? I think France, I'm crazy on the Wemby train. But I think
I like France, but you gotta have good guard play.
Yeah. They don't really.
Yeah, they're big, don't get me wrong, but you gotta have good guard play. USA is too skilled, bro. If USA decides to play, bro, there's two guys I don't bet against in basketball, and it's Steph Curry and LeBron James, and they're on the same team. So,
and then just add KD.
They're not letting us lose, bro. Steph and Bron are not letting us lose.
Yeah. Bro, what if Wemby just drops 60?
I don't know, dude.
I just don't know who guards him. I guess they double team him.
But you can use the same. Okay, who guarded him the whole NBA season? They didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. I guess if there's people, if no one on Team USA could guard him, there's just no one in the world that could.
Yeah.
If only Giannis had another guy on Greece with him.
Giannis need to pull a Joel and go play for France or something.
Oh my, bro! If he played for France,
yeah,
that would be ridiculous. How crazy is it that Wemby makes Rudy look small when they're out there on the court together?
Who's their third guy they have that's good?
Fournier.
Batum?
Yeah, they got Fournier and Batum. And is Patty Mills? No, Patty Mills is Australian, huh?
Yeah, he's Australia.
Boris Diaw.
Yeah, they're probably they're good. I like Canada though. Canada's good.
Canada's nice. If they had like one top big, I think they could. Is there? Yeah, I mean like Shea, Jamal, Dort, and Brooks. That's a solid 1 through 4.
They should have Wiggins too.
Mm-hmm. And Zach Edey's Canadian.
Yeah, he didn't play.
Yeah, he actually could have been useful.
Yeah.
Can't you grab the ball off the rim in international?
Yeah, FIBA's different. You can grab it as soon as it hits the rim, even on the way down. That's why Wemby's gonna be a cheat code.
Yeah, Rudy too, but Wemby more than anything, bro.
Yeah.
Wemby's really about to be my favorite player for the next 15 years. I already know.
Yeah.
I almost wish we dropped like the 150 to go to that summer league game. Looking back at it, but
Yeah, did you say we were there?
he didn't even play that good that day. I think he had like 6 points or something like that.
Yeah.
Did you watch Bronny in summer league at all?
Nah.
Me neither. Oh, is the Tahoe tournaments going on this weekend for golf, bro? I wish it was a few weeks earlier so Steph could have tried to defend his title there.
I know. Does it start tomorrow?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Shit. All right then. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we will see y'all next week with some. I think we got a fight night next week. Amanda Lemos versus a long last name. Amanda Lemos versus Gianni Drabadebas.
Yes, sir. We'll be here.
Doses.